Welcome to a journey of flour, water and sheer determination. I'm Feroz and today I'm going to share with you my rollercoaster journey of baking my first ever sourdough bread. It started off rocky with more downs than ups and a loaf which was, say, less than perfect. But with one simple change I managed to turn things around. Stick around as I take you through my highs and my lows and my fails and my fixes of this sourdough saga. As you've probably gathered, I'm no baker, so I bought myself a book to get me started. This book by Elaine Brody promises that it contains the secrets to no-fail baking with epic results. Let's see how well it delivers. So let's get started and make this thing. So first off, I had no idea how involved making sourdough was going to be. You have to make what's called a starter, which is a living, breathing culture which catches wild yeast out of the air, which ultimately ferments your dough. This process takes around a week and it actually took me a little bit longer. Well, it's day 2 and things are looking good. You can already see some bubbles coming up through this starter, so the fermentation is definitely underway. Well, it's day 3 and things are looking good to me. Look at all these bubbles. So it's day 4, things are not looking quite as bubbly today, but it's definitely got more of a vinegary kind of smell to it. So things are definitely still going on, or I presume. Well, bread making day is finally here. I tell you what, it's been a journey. I started this journey 2 weeks ago, trying to get this starter going. I don't know whether it's been my technique or the temperature or what, but it seems to have been a real mission. I was hoping to get this going in 7 days or so, but more than double that. Now, I think this is ready. I've never done this before, so I'm not entirely sure, but one of the signs apparently is that it doubles, and it has doubled overnight, so I'm going to give it a go and get started. For this recipe, I'm going to be using 50 grams of starter, 500 grams of strong white bread flour, 7 grams of salt, 350 grams of water. All I'm going to do is mix it all together, cover it and leave it for an hour or so. Okay, it's been an hour now. Let's see how we're looking. Well, I don't know if that's meant to look like that, but apparently what I've got to do now is start pulling the dough from one side to the other until it makes a nice looking ball. So let's see how we go. Feels really quite sticky to me at the moment. Apparently I have to stop when this comes into an almost smooth ball. Well, I'm not sure that's going to happen. A few more of these and leave it alone for another hour. Round 3. Well, in a typical case of not reading the book properly, I've just read that what I should have done was reduce the amount of water by 30 grams if the water you're using is soft water. Typically, I've just checked and we do have soft water here. So whether I'm actually going to be able to get this looking good, I have no idea. But I'm going to give it my best shot and see what happens. See you in an hour. Well, what a total mission this has been. So I did put the dough in the fridge last night, which in hindsight was probably a mistake because I checked it this morning and it hadn't done a thing. After a bit of a mild panic, what I ended up deciding to do was put this in the oven with it off, but with a hot water bottle in there to see if I could get things going. Well, it certainly has done something. I'm not sure if it's meant to look like this, but I'm going to give it a go and see what we can do. So what I'm going to do now is fold this again one time and then put it into the banneton which I've sprinkled with rice flour. Well, this is the final fold. I really don't think this is looking too good. It's too wet and it's too sticky. Into the banneton we go. Oh dear, this is not meant to happen. Look at this. Okay, maybe a mild disaster going on now. Well, it's finally bake time. I've got the dough out the fridge. I have to say I'm not feeling particularly confident. This is way more wibbly wobbly than I would expect it to be, and certainly looking very different from the pictures. But I'm not going to give up now. It's been a right slog and I just want to see what I get. The oven behind me is preheated to 220, so we're just going to give it a go and see what happens. Okay, let's see if I screw this part up. I need to get the dough, flip it round. Okay, it's stuck. Yeah, this has not gone well, and looks like this is officially a failure. Well, that didn't go too well. I'm going to attempt to score this, but I don't really think there's much point, to be honest. Well, here's my first bit of sourdough bread. It's looking a bit sorry for itself. It's looking quite flat. It hasn't risen very well, but let's cut it open and see what it looks like. Well, yeah, as expected, it's pretty dense inside, but the proof is in the taste. I'm going to give it a munch and see how it is. To be fair, it's not brilliant, but it's actually reasonably edible. I can definitely do better though. I'm going to give it another attempt. I've got my starter out of the fridge. I'm going to feed that again and then tomorrow go through the baking process again. I think my issue was all the way through that was that my dough was just a bit too sticky and a bit too wet. I'm going to start again, but have 30 millilitres less water in with the flour and see how that does. Hopefully I'll be getting a better result. Let's see. So it's back to folding every 4 hours. Then I'm going to cover and pop it in the microwave overnight to try and keep the temperature reasonably level. In the morning, I'll dust the banneton, put the dough in and leave in the fridge for 3 hours. Then get my bake on again. I almost don't want to cut this thing open. How much better does that look? Success! It's amazing how that one simple change of reducing the amount of water in the dough made. Amazing. Just in case you needed reminding about what the first one looked like, look at the difference between these two. Even with the ups and downs, I've really enjoyed this experience and I feel that I'm just getting started on this journey. Stay tuned for more fermentation and bread making ideas. Cheers.